Yo, what's going on, guys? What's happening? What's the sound check like, guys? Can you hear me clearly? Is the music too loud? Please give me your thoughts just before we get this party started. What's going on? How are we doing today? Live from the beach. Nice. I like it. My guy's live from the beach as well. What a guy. Oh, Bitcoin. But guys, please do not be alarmed. You know? Please do not be alarmed. Why? Because we kind of knew this was going to happen, my friends. Okay? We kind of knew this was going to happen. So please do not be surprised. You know? First time. Okay, what's good, man? What's good? Just waiting for a couple of people to come into the room. What's going on? How we doing? Who's in here tonight? Today? Jeez, man. Where we at? B-man, what's going on? The end is near. Come on, bro. What are you talking about? The end is near. Yeah, the game music that I listened to just a minute ago, that was a little bit crazy, man. But you know what? It's all good anyways. It's all good. Who we got in here? Greg, what's good, my friend? Steven, Sack Trades, what's happening? Carl, where have you been, bruv? It's been a while, man. Been a while. Who else we got? Ash, what's happening? I hope everything's well for you, Ash, man. Monty. Who else we got? Who here? Matt C. How you doing, bro? How you doing, man? All right, then. What's going on? Who we got in here? Who else is there? Emil. Scotty. Scotty, what's happening? Okay, then. So, what's been going on? What has been going on? Well, firstly, for anybody new in the channel, and for all my existing pattern watchers, welcome to the Traders Reality channel. My name's Tino. Let's have a conversation, guys. Let's flip this chart over and find out exactly what has been going on. So, here we go. All right, then. Looking at the grand scheme of things, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite evident what is going on. Now, last night's video pretty much summed up what was going to happen next, or the probability of it happening. All right, this is what's really important. Now, I'm going to be streaming every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, during the day, just before the New York session. Okay, because right now, New York, the pre-market is open. All right, so we're just, half an hour into the pre-market. It's 8:30 in the morning in New York right now. Traders are getting to their stations. They're working out where their targets are for the day. It's going to be a very interesting day for trading. Okay. And we're waiting for New York to officially open at 2 p.m., which is 9 a.m. in the morning. Now, the reason that is important is because New York, the banks themselves, it's a trading day. Not just trading itself. We're talking money starts to move swiftly. Okay. People are going to the banks. They're moving money left, right, and center. The general behavior of people in New York and across the US, is starting to move. Now, this is why we're seeing a lot of behavior in the charts right now. Okay? A lot of behavior. What's good, man? What's happening in Holland? What's going on? So, let's have a look at what has been going on for us to understand what is going on right now. Okay? Now, you can see clearly that previous pools of liquidity are being taken. From the start of this M formation, price has broken down, okay? And it's broken down quite aggressively. So it's like they want to make a run for profit. By the token of the market maker's behavior, this looks like it's now in a full-fledged markdown phase, okay? Because there's two phases. It's not bearish and bullish. Those are emotional patterns or directions. When someone is bearish, it's an intention to see things going lower. When someone is bullish, it's exciting, it's optimistic, okay? But in light of the market maker, it's a markup or a markdown phase, okay? He marks up his profit, he marks down his profit. He takes advantage of the shorts, builds his longs, takes advantage of the longs, builds his shorts, okay? Now you can see Bitcoin is coming down to one of the pools of liquidity that we've got right here. All right. Now, the chart that I'm going to show you right now, MT4, okay, this is the liquidity chart that we like to have a look on. Okay. So you can see right there, these are the previous pools of liquidity that Bitcoin has in sight based on this previous move to the upside. And so far we are taking the first pool of liquidity right here. We actually had this pool of liquidity right here that was taken successfully. Now we've got this area right here with notable volume coming in, and of course the range daily low. Okay, so for any of the patrons that have been watching the videos today, we've been waiting for the range daily low since what? 9:30 this morning, and granted they brought it all the way back down towards the range daily low. Now the range daily low is an important point in the chart because it's effectively the maximum point that they're going to send price to based on previous sessions ranges. Okay, so this is here, the range daily low is where at maximum they've decided to move price down. Now have you noticed how there is notable volume, okay, just in and around the 38k zone? Okay, going back to TradingView itself, all right, you can see the importance of the 38,000 zone, or should I say the whole number zone. Okay, so here we are with the whole number. Where is it? Right there. The 38,000 right there. Okay. Now, let me just try and increase the pricing. I don't know if you guys can see. How do we do that again? How do we get the pricing up? Increase. Do we right click? Who's good with this? Settings. Appearance, there we go. Scales, I'm guessing that's it. Is it 20? There we go. Boom. Man, he got it right. Wow. And I'm going to change that to yellow so it's nice and bright in your face. What's going on? All right, cool. No worries, no worries. It's all good, it's all good. Mad love from Oz. Australia in the place. What's happening? Okay then, cool. So these are the pools of liquidity that they're taking out. Now, what's important for me is Bitcoin has got the 800 EMA in sight, all right, on the 1 hour time frame, which does show the 4 hour 200 EMA. Now, that is really important, okay? That will be the most absolute zone of support that Bitcoin could potentially come down first before it may try and come back up, all right? But likewise, from this previous move to the upside, my friends, you can see that we've had a peak formation, rise up level 1, rise up level 2, and then of course rise level 3, peak formation, drop down. Now we haven't had as such a pullback to the 50 EMA just yet, all right, which is kind of concerning because I want to see them retrace back to the 50 to effectively establish a level, all right? But it looks like they're just moving aggressively to the downside. So now that this pool of liquidity has been taken, I'm going to get rid of that. Happy days. Now, if you look here, this does help you. All right. This is the power of projection. If you can project where you think price is going to go next, draw it out on the chart and see how yours relates to it. Naturally, we are expecting price to come down because we've had this massive move to the upside. But in sight of what's been going on right now, you can see how the market makers triggered all the guys to go short, and then they brought price all the way back up. Drop down to a smaller time frame on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that we've got effectively what would be deemed as a stopping volume candle, but the wick is absolutely huge. Okay, now if I go down towards, let me get back up to the 1 hour time frame, you can see that there. And if I show you on the 15-minute time frame on MT4, you can see the 1 hour candle right here is a little bit different. Okay, but you can see the recovery of the red vector candle right there. Now, this is what normally happens, guys. When price comes back to recover a vector candle, okay, it's always going to try and recover at least 50% of the vector itself. All right. Now, price has broken down, but it's consistent with the cycle that the market makers are giving to us. What I'm waiting to see is if the New York session rolls in and we effectively establish a reversal in the New York session. Now, the importance of the New York session is this. Asia's intention is pretty much established, all right? So when Asia step into the pad, they're going to say, right, this is where we want to see price going based on our intention of where we want to mark price up for, okay? Let me bring you MT4 to show you a clear understanding of that. So look at Asia on the 1 hour time frame. All right, then here we go. Asia last night decided to spike the high, trap the retail traders, those who believed that the break of the 200 EMA was going to create the shorts. Okay, so they spiked below and then they moved all the way back up and hit the highest range of the Asian session, and they took out all the stops and all the liquidation points for the guys who traded on the break of the 200 EMA, because there are orders there, guys. Okay, Asia brings price back down, no confirmation candle follow through to move price higher, and then they drop in the final third of the Asian session. The UK session steps in, and this is the dead gap time right here in between these two candlesticks. Dead gap time. When I say dead gap time, it's the market makers in Asia effectively rolling over to Europe, saying to them, this is what we've done. We've managed to trap 500-600 million contracts or value of orders in and around this zone. You've got an option to either continue and add more to those positions, or you can take advantage of the liquidation points at this point or stops at this point. Okay, so Europe does exactly just that. They follow through with the development of taking out the liquidation points from the move that has been broken in this range right here. Then, just as US starts to come into play, you can see how price has just completely broken down and followed through with the Asian session intention. Now, what we're looking for is New York going to continue, or are they going to repeat the same behavior here and mark price up to drop it down again and completely take out the range daily low and effectively start working on the next pools of liquidity right here? All right, these are the important zones. This is the area that I'm looking for, guys. This is all I'm interested in, just this area here. Now, there's no guarantee price is going to go that direction, but that's all we can contend with. Now, Ethereum, let me bring that up for you. So there we go, Ethereum. Very interesting price action. Oh my God, what is all of this? Tino, seriously, man. I've got too many lines on my charts, man. Too many lines on the charts. All right then, cool. Last night, Ethereum formed a beautiful head and shoulders pattern, which is a variation of the M pattern. Right? How many of you actually watched the video last night? You're always going to get a boomer moment, man. Come on. You know, this stream wouldn't be nothing without a boomer moment. You know? Okay. Last night's stream, we discussed this. Not stream, the video I uploaded last night. The potential zones that Ethereum could take out. All right? And that's really important for us to consider here. Okay? Now, with Ethereum's behavior over the past few sessions or lately, okay, she's done a fantastic job, right, at making sure that she holds her gains. But the problem with that is, if everything else across the board is selling off, all right, the ones that are trying to hold tend to follow suit. Now, if you look in the watch list right here, it's good to just pull this up just to see who's pretty much dominating across the board, or should I say who's being held. Now look, you've got ADA against Bitcoin, you've got Cake is doing very well to hold her gains, all right, and Ravencoin is just marginally trading positively. Both Ethereum and Bitcoin are taking a smacking, all right. So is this the moment that we start seeing the altcoins start to come up? Because if you look at the altcoins down here as well, you can see they're not actually in any distribution yet. Well, the latest ones right here aren't showing distributions, like BNB, Tron. I'm guessing, is that Tron? Is it Tron? Yes. Tron's doing okay. Ada's doing okay. She's trading well. Algo, doing pretty decent. Anything above 1% was deemed as a distribution day, okay, in light of stocks and shares. If they're selling off and it's above 1%, it's deemed as a distribution day. Now, what you guys need to try and get into your mind is if they're actually selling off the majors, is it because they want to take out the money and feed it to the alts? We're trying to establish the disparity right there, guys. All right. Coming back to Bitcoin itself, we're just waiting to see if this zone right here is going to be held. And this is why I've come on right now, so that we can effectively catch the next 15-20 minutes of the build up to New York. But what's really going to be important for me is when the futures markets open. because then that's going to be a rush of liquidity. And when you've got London and the US, okay, both trading at the same time, you're going to get a clear view of where they want to send price, okay? So, who's in the room, by the way? Let's have a conversation. Yeah, can someone tell me about Ethereum 2.0? I haven't covered any of that, although I may actually discuss it. Okay. Sack tradesman. Let's bring Luna up. All right, let's have a look at Luna. Where is Luna on here? Is she up here at all? Luna. Okay, let's have a look at Luna, because people seem to be talking quite a bit about Luna. All right, and I'm guessing, or I'm hoping, that she's actually doing some interesting behavior. Nice. Now, it's quite surprising how this isn't actually on here. All right, Luna just looks like she's making a mad run for money. All right, just zooming out a second. Are we at all-time highs with Luna? Let me have a look. Let's have a look at the day. Oh, no, we're not at all-time highs. Well, guys, look. Is that surprising? Is that surprising? Full recovery, nearly, of the vector candle. At some point, they bring price back towards the vector candles. It's just the aspect of when. That's the key thing. When are they going to bring price back? And our job as traders is to effectively determine the behavior of the candlesticks at and around certain key zones. Okay? If you're concerned about whether a vector candle is going to get recovered or not, look at this. Red candle, green candle formation. Naturally, that would be deemed as a reversal point. But look, they pulled price away from it and then they brought it down one more time. And they had enough liquidity trapped at that zone to move away. All right? Now, the fact that Luna's moving, I don't know. Is it because there's something happening with Luna? What is it? Does anybody know anything about what's going on with Luna? Is there anything anything happening in light of that? I don't know. But the way it's behaving is the market makers look like they're making a run for profit. All right, so that looks like we're going to see potentially a retrace back down, because this is consistent with the market maker behavior. So when New York comes into play, we could actually get a retrace back down, sharp move back down, retrace back up, try and hit the high one more time and then break down. Who knows? Okay. Looking at Bitcoin, look at that, man. See, this is the trickery of the market makers itself. All right, because there's people that will just look across the board who and what is trading where. Now, does anybody remember the video that we did on Solana? Is it Solana or Solana? I don't care. I'm calling it so. I keep getting it wrong, man. I just don't understand. It's just a catchy thing. Here we go. There we go. Solano. Is it so? What? How do you say it, man? Where is it? It doesn't even say it on there. Everything else it does, but it doesn't even say it on there. What a joke. Anyway, Sol is actually doing very well to move higher. I think the fractional disparity might be coming into play, guys. Alts might start making a move. It could actually be making a move. But by saying that, we need to break away from this zone right here. It's all good seeing this behavior of price moving to the upside, but that's not going to do anything for us if it doesn't break away. There is only one more pool of liquidity for them to take. Of course, in the past few streams when we talked about altcoins, we had projected that Solana, whatever, price was going to come back to this zone. She's done just that and pulled straight back. But when you look closely as well, you can see that we do have another pool of liquidity right here. So I'm projecting that Sol will actually come back up towards that point, maybe retrace, and then the retrace would effectively line up the 50 EMA and potentially see a continuation to the upside, which would take us towards a previous pool of liquidity that sits at, let me just get that for you. Sorry if I'm moving away from the mic. My mic etiquette is absolutely terrible. Where are we at? Okay. Around about the 39 zone. I'm expecting the 39 zone to be taken. All right. So that should be the next point of interest in the chart. Why is everything running so slow? Here we go. Okay then. Cool. Bitcoin. Oh, that's why. Okay then. Cool. So we just need to monitor exactly what Bitcoin has in store for us. I'm waiting for the New York session to really roll out. They're spiking price up straight back because they've just triggered so many orders to the downside. They've encouraged so many people to go short, you know? With a 4K, with the 14K run 28. Okay. Okay. Explain to me how when people who are able to buy 35,000 Bitcoin in an option were gifted 42,000 Bitcoin on a market that was headed down after expiration of that option. Previous downward trend continued. Yeah, pretty much. Do market makers actually move altcoins too, or is it just the main Bitcoin? Yes, there is always a market for everything. Market makers are in control of absolutely everything, because if no one is there for them to buy, who's going to be there to sell? All right. It's just different pools of liquidity. Okay. Different pools of liquidity. Not everyone is going to be trading Bitcoin and Ethereum or XRP. Everyone just uses that as the three majors or the base of where, you know, most of the liquidity is at. But what you need to try and get into your mind is this. There is market makers for commodities. Okay. Market makers for, you know, futures. Any financial asset that is around in the world today, there is a market maker there. If it's tradable, there's a market maker there. Why? Because before you can even consider opening a trade, you need liquidity on the opposite side. All right? No different to when a business starts. When a business starts, he needs capital. He needs cash flow so that he can operate the business with anticipation to generate a profit return as he's providing his service or product. The same thing is the same with trading. Okay? This area, this zone, these charts, these are all the market makers' business. This is their business model. This is how they move price up, and this is how they move it downwards. Okay, this is their operating business as such. So this is what they do. All right, our goal is to effectively work out when they're making a run for profit, either mark down or mark up phases. Okay, now let me just take a sip of the old sparkling water. How are we today anyway, guys? How is everybody today? It's too hot for me. So hot. It's unbelievable. M zones I saw in the wiki. Yeah. Oh, wicked. Adam, that's awesome, bro. I'm glad you got that. I'm glad you got that. Late to the party. Listen, the party never stopped. Okay? It's always going to be happening, the party. Party's here, guys. Crypto sessions. What's going on? Gonna see a spiritualist today. Fair play, bro. Let me know how that goes, man. Atom, I'm very well, my friend. I'm all good. We're just sat here waiting for the New York Open in 10 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so for anybody that is new to the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. It costs nothing, but you're supporting the channel in the algorithm and spreading the word of the Traders Reality movement. Yeah? Happy days, happy days. What are the possible scenarios for New York? Well, this is what I like to look at, okay? When New York, or should I say, when Asia sets the precedent from last night, okay, it kind of gives you a clue as to what's going on. But you've got to remember as well, what has been happening beforehand. Remember, previously, they've been raising price to the upside. All right. It's been moving higher and higher and higher. Let me get rid of these pools of liquidity right here so it's nice and clear for you guys. All right. I can get rid of the I'll keep the 38,000 mark. Do I need this line here? Do I need that? Do I? I don't know if I can get rid of it. Anyway, some teething issues with TradingView, but, well, from my end, that is. TradingView works fine. But yeah, what can we expect? No worries, Casey. No worries. What can we expect from the New York session? It's simple, all right? Asia moves price down, and we've also come from a high. So is the cycle favoring the markdown phase? Because if you look up here, by the principle of the cycle, we are here now. And we haven't had the retrace back yet, all right? On the 1 hour time frame. So this is the start of the week. Price rises up, level 1, day 1, rise level 2, day 2, rise level 3, peak formation, drop, rise level 4, rise level 1, day 4, drop, rise level 5, day 5, level 2, day 5, man. And then they come back down again, level 3, peak formation. If you go and watch last night's video, guys, I had a problem with saying the number 64 and it really twisted my tongue, man. So if you would fancy a little bit of a laugh, go and watch that video. I know you guys love the boomer moments, but I don't do them on purpose. I'm serious. I don't want to do boomer moments. They just happen out of nowhere and it really stresses me out. You know, I'm trying to do this properly. You know what I'm saying? You know? Anyways. So, back to the question on what is we expecting from New York. Well, the fact is the UK have initiated a move to the downside. All right, they've moved price down lower. Now, when New York comes into play, especially at 2:30, there's going to be a massive pool of liquidity coming in. Massive. And that means there's going to be money exchanged from all over the world. They're all going to be coming into the chart. So it may get a little bit chaotic and crazy. Look at MT4 right now. Bitcoin on the exchanges, on IC markets. If you want access to these indicators as such, you can download them all in the links to the description. Download MT4 and then go to the Discord, which is there as well, and download the indicators there. We've got the ones for IC markets and we've got the ones for Trading View. Okay, now Bitcoin itself is coming up to recover the full vector candle right here. All right. Now, I'm waiting for the New York Brinks to trigger. The New York Brinks trade is effectively the zone where they set up the move. If the UK have decided to take advantage of the liquidity to the downside that Asia initially trapped, all right, we should see a run for profit by New York, all right? And that means a potential retrace back up towards the 50 EMA. More importantly, price hasn't hit the range daily low. It hasn't hit the 50 either, okay? So we're in a bit of a... There's a little bit of a trial and error to determine exactly what they plan on doing next. This sharp move to the downside just took out all the guys who were optimistic that Bitcoin was going to continue to rise from this point. Unfortunate moon boys had been trapped in this thing in the belief that price was going to continue higher. Only the smart traders that took advantage of this slight retrace back towards the 5 and the 13 EMA or even the daily open, because this is a pattern of behavior by the markets that happens pretty much all the time. At some point, they're going to try and come back to the daily open. If it trades close towards it, they're going to want to try and bring price back towards it to regulate the intention and then make their move from that point. Okay? So, once New York opens in 4 minutes time, we're going to see the Brinks. It's going to get a little bit chaotic. All right? But we need to factor in what's going on still. If we are in line of the actual cycle itself, okay, that we've got up here, this is the cycle. If we're at this point right now, now there's going to be a variation to it, guys. If it doesn't come back to the 50 EMA, all right, completely, does it invalidate the cycle? No, it doesn't. It just means that they've had an extended version of the level 1. We haven't had a retrace to the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame just yet. Okay, so all of this is just a straightaway move to the downside to quickly grab the liquidity and take out all the retail traders who ain't paying themselves. The only way that they can take advantage of coming back to these pools of liquidity is if traders are committed to holding their trades. The only way that they can offload their longs, okay, or take advantage of their shorts from the previous move to the upside, when I say they, I'm talking market makers, all right, is if there's liquidity on the other side as well. Because remember, Moon Boy stepped in and he's getting excited that price is rising up, rising up, rising up. He adds his positions. He also sets his stops, his liquidation points. He has them all the way down here. And the market maker can see all of that. He gets traders committed to this zone and then he breaks down price and he's effectively testing all the retail traders' grit, their, how can I put it to you, their determination to stay in the trade when all they need to do is pay themselves and change direction. That's the truth of the game, guys. All right. The only way that they can offset and make a move to the downside is if their positions that they built to the upside, okay, is there's liquidity for them to open it on the way back down. And now we are witnessing the market makers break down price, hit one pool of liquidity, but this is the daddy of liquidity right here. This is where it all started. This is where we will get nominal value. This is where the reset will appear. If Bitcoin comes down to the 36 point, this is where we will need to see the market maker show his hand. Because if it doesn't show any support at the 800 EMA, then we do have some interesting pools of liquidity to the downside. And then if we do come back down to this point right here, then boy, it's a different story for cryptocurrency or Bitcoin as a whole. So we're going to now know if this zone is going to hold. Okay. 1 more minute until New York, guys. Let's see the intention right there. 1 more minute. Let's see what happens. I'm going to bring up the 15-minute time frame. Starting to see price stabilize. New York Brinks coming into play. Look at that. Notable volume at the 50 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. A lot of people got trapped into believing that the 50 was now going to be broken, so they set their orders at that point. Confirmation candle didn't confirm that blue candle there. Price reverses all the way back down. They've now got another opportunity to build their longs at lower prices. Could this be, could it be the development of a W formation? Now, when I say W formation, a small W formation. So there's a good chance that it might actually fail. Okay, so we're going to know where we stand with this. All right. Okay, that's a big wick. Yeah, it is. Oil getting hammered. This is really bad for the market. Yeah, I mean, looking at gold. This is, here we go. Just look at what's going on. Look at how busy they're getting. Just pay attention to the chart. Look at how busy the orders get. Just watch the craziness by the market maker. People are now running for orders, trying to make money. You know, they don't want to feel like they're missing out. Are they going to open their shorts? Are they going to open their longs? This is where we need to wait and see for price to stabilize. The first hour of every hour, should I say, the first few candles of every hour, you just need to be aware of, okay? Like, for example, on the 5-minute time frame, be aware of the first few moments of a new 1 hour candle, because it does establish momentum, all right? But don't get caught up in these sort of ranges, especially when price drops, because if this is going to be a W formation that plays out, you're going to want to wait for price to at least clear this zone before anything can be considered. You want to wait for full pattern development. Okay, the UK have been dropping off since the Asian session. Okay, sorry, Asian session has been dropping off. UK reversed price all the way back up, recovered the previous vector candles and took out all the guys who went short. Okay, now one last hit by UK to complete the cycle, and then they set it up for New York. We are now going to see if New York is going to continue with this move to the downside or actually make a run for profit. Now, before it can be deemed as a move that's valid to send Bitcoin further up, it needs to break above the 50 and it needs to break above the 800 EMA. If anything, the daily open is ideally where we really need to see price. That's what's important, the daily open. All right. 1 hour hammer candle possible going lower, maybe. Let's see. No worries, Alicia. Great to have you here. But you've got to understand as well, guys. Over the last several hours, okay, New York has got to absorb all what has happened in the charts, which is why we see a lot of behavior in and around the open of New York. And futures ain't even open yet. That's what's crazy. All right, so look, a minute ago, everything was going up. Now it's just pulled straight back down. Okay, flipping over to MT4, what we got here, you can see that they're stabilizing. All right, going to start a new vector candle in 2 more minutes because there's a 5-minute delay on this part of the chart right here. So I'll flip back over to trading view. Here we go. Here we go. Who's in the room? Who's in the room? Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, my friend. What does it take for the level 1 drop to be locked in? It has to take out the previous consolidation period of level 1. So, for example, if we pull up this chart right here, all right, let me just bring this up for you so you can see clearly. 1 hour time frame. All right, then, cool. So if you look at this cycle move up to the upside here, look, sorry. What determines a valid level 1 or level 2? You want to see, so if this is where we are right now in the cycle, okay, you want price to break down below the last form of consolidation, okay? That's what you want to see. And you want to see a clean break away from it. Price can go back into it, but it cannot go beyond that level, because then that would be an invalid level. It will be a reset, okay? Because it's come back up above the high that it previously stopped price from continuing, okay? You want to see it come up, pull down, take out the consolidation, go back up, come down again, then you've got a peak formation. And this is what I'm trying to establish with this pattern or this drawing down here. So right now you can see that the vector candle from New York is actually being recovered. Is this stopping volume? Is this the stopping volume candle? Because it looks like that New York may actually bring price back up to form the first level retrace. So we're not out the woods yet, guys. There's no cigars just yet, because looking on the 1 hour time frame, it's got to come back up above the 200 EMA for anything to happen. Before it even does that, it needs to go back above the 13 EMA. Man, I'm losing my speech. What is going on? My mouth is dry as a... Anyway, that's another story. Looking at this. PC Shed, what's good? Sonny Biggs, how you doing, my man? How you doing, bro? Cash running into the debt market. So I brought a bag of it. It's on Robinhood. We'll buy it thinking it's cheap. Oh, God. Let's see. 64. You heard the 64 video, yeah? Well, that was unfortunate. What can I say about that? 64. Yeah, there's things I can and can't say on YouTube, man. Well, Zuma, how you doing, bro? What's up, Wing Commander? Fips, the reason why I don't work with Fibonacci's is I don't know, man. It's just, I know it's a tool for the market maker. I could use it in conjunction with, but I've been staring at charts too long, and I understand the retracements of where they're likely to move price. Before price comes back and forms a retracement, I want to see the consolidation and the intention by the market maker to move price into that zone. Remember, price has to develop into a pattern or a set of behaviors before it can come back and do a retracement, for example. And I'm going to be focusing on the development of candlesticks that warrant price to move back up. Okay, I can put the Fibonacci's, no problem. And granted, if I draw a Fibonacci right now, okay, which is not consistent with what I do, how do you draw Fibonacci's? Where is it? How do you do that? Where's the Fibonacci tool? Here we go. Man, I'm so new to this. Fibonacci retracement right here. All right, so we take the high and then we draw. What on earth is that? We take the absolute low and the absolute high. Okay, so look at it like this. What is that doing? Here we go. So by the principle of the golden mean, price should effectively come back up towards the 61.8% mark if this is the low. Okay, now without Fibonacci's, it looks like this stopping volume candle is going to be formed. So Fibonacci hasn't confirmed that that is the low. The stopping volume candle has confirmed that, because the market maker has come back down towards previous pools of liquidity and it's retraced away from it, because that's what they do. They hit a pool of liquidity and they reverse back up because they trigger other people's intentions to go one direction, and they exploit them by getting them to open up orders on the intention of moving price down lower. So that's why they move back up, okay? Because that's the best way for them to get liquidity. By the principle of the Fibonacci's, okay, if price reverses back towards the 0.23 and moves away from it, granted, that would imply that they may not be finished with the zone. But I'm always going to consider the cycles before any other indicator. So by the token of Fibonacci, Fibonacci should bring price back up towards the 50 EMA, which is the 0.382 retracement zone, which the theory says that if it comes back to the 0.38 zone and continues away from it, it's a continuation, I guess. That's what I understand. Or if price comes back up to the 61.8, it's a nice retracement back up that you can ride. All right. But market makers know that retail traders are watching these levels, which is why price always tends to come back up to those zones. All right. So the absolute zone, look at this. Red vector candle sits where? It sits at the 61.8 zone. We didn't have Fibonacci's beforehand. So why do I need to use Fibonacci's if I know where the liquidity's at? Funny, isn't it, how it sits at the 61.8 zone? So by that token, I don't really like to use it, because it's just, you know, my charts are like crazy already, and it just, I don't know. That's preference. I'm not to say that it's, you know, don't use it, you know, try it out. But I've been looking at charts in a different way without indicators. Okay, I've just been focusing on the candlesticks, and price usually comes back to those zones because we understand that's where the market maker has left his footprint. He can't leave money on the table because he's in the game to make money. All right. What his job is to try and get people committed to the wrong side of the direction of the trend so that he can get his orders against them so that he can hit their stops and liquidation points to get profit from those moves. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Battery's running low. That's bad news. Not anymore. That was a close move, guys. Can't believe I didn't. There you go. There's your nice little boom moment. Adrian, yes, it's going to be a daily thing, my friend. I'm going to be streaming tonight as well at 10 p.m. I'll be streaming every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1:30, 2. Well, it's actually 2 o'clock, but if I come on soon, it's because price is, you know, showing us some very interesting behavior. So 2 p.m. is the base. All right. My channel, at the start of the channel, it says that I stream in the evenings at 10 o'clock, where it's actually crossed out and it says 10:10. I just guess punctuality for me is just one of those things I need to work on. You know? But hey, I'm in GMT, my friend. M levels, yeah, they're like middle fibs. The M levels, okay, are the midpoints of the standard pivot points. Yeah. You know what, Archuk, I like pitchforks. Pitchforks are kind of good. I like pitchforks, but you have to draw them out. They're good at working out cycles, if I'm honest with you, trying to work out the likelihood of price coming back to the 50. But I've tried and tested so much, and for me, in my opinion, I just think paying attention to the cycle is always going to take precedence, because if you don't have any idea about where price is in light of the cycle, okay, how are you going to know what phase the market maker is trying to get in? You know? What if the pitchfork says that you should enter at this point, or Fibonacci says that you should enter at the retrace? Here's the trap. Okay? There are people that might enter on the Fibonacci from the high to the low and hope that price is going to continue up and maybe ride an extension to the upside. And if they see that price has been rising, they're not considering what cycle we are in. So they will hold their trades, or maybe open at the 50, ride to the 61 and potentially hit towards the 100% retracement, or maybe take out some extension points as well. There are traders that will do that. And the only reason they get stopped out is because they're effectively looking at the Fibonacci zones as opposed to considering the cycles themselves, which is the M formation and price drops because we've had a move to the upside. In a previous move, we understand the market maker needs to make a return on his investment. So there's a retail trader indicators that the market maker does like to exploit. All right. So you just need to proceed with caution. Don't make your decisions solely off the Fibonacci's themselves. Okay. Do I believe in the correlation between gold and crypto? Okay. Well, here's an example. All right. Let me bring up gold right now. Oh, green vector candle. Now, if New York has intention to go back down, okay, they've effectively taken out all the shorts, hit the liquidations, opened their longs, and realized a return for them. This candle should get recovered, maybe 50%, or we are at a point in the chart where they're going to try and test intention to move away and come back up above the 200 EMA and stop the 50 EMA from crossing over, because they could actually keep price in this zone and make the retail trader believe that there's going to be a death cross. What fantastic way to induce more people to go short and get Bitcoin cheaper than what it is, and then get those retail traders committed on the basis of the death cross and then shift out of the zone and take all their liquidation points. Right now, the market maker is trapping traders in the belief that price is going to continue down lower. Granted, it may continue down lower, but realistically, what is actually happening is the market maker is testing how much he can convince the retail trader to believe that price is going to drop, and how often is he going to be opening shorts so that he can ride that move. The more people that are able to open shorts, it's where the market maker is opening longs, because you can't sell if no one buys, and you can't buy if no one sells. Just that image in your mind itself is going to help you understand the market maker's moves. So back to your question, my friend, right? What is the correlation between cryptocurrency and gold? Well, let's look at gold. gold right now is actually forming a support base at its psychological low. All right. Now, the idea of gold is this. When investors are scared, they need to come to a safe haven. All right. And safe haven is gold. All right. So by that principle, when gold is dropping, dollar should technically be rising. Okay. But because gold is rising, dollar is dropping and coming down towards the 800 EMA, which finalizes the level 3 move to the downside 3 times ADR. So we're at a turning point right now with dollar yen. At some point, we're going to see a retrace away from this point down here. That's what I'm expecting her to do. I'm waiting for a pattern to develop in and around this zone because dollar yen has been trading 7 days away from its last high, okay, which was right here. So they've been building longs, building. How long are they going to keep building for? Well, we've had a cyclical move to the downside. So let's see what happens. We're going into Wednesday tomorrow, which could initiate a midweek reversal. All right. So we just need to try and see if gold and Bitcoin have a correlation against the dollar. Because Bitcoin and Ethereum that are listed on the CME, they initially were listed as a form to hedge your exposure for institutional funds. So what I'm trying to say is when Bitcoin is rising, is it because investors are trying to minimize exposure and take advantage of the volatility of Bitcoin rising? Or are they doing it because they are scared generally of the economy? So when gold rises against the dollar, Bitcoin rises against the dollar, everyone's taking their money away from risk on assets and putting it into hedge and protective places. We're always going to be asking that question, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And we just need to try and gather as much screen time as we can to see if we can actually get a correlation between the two. All right? ADR means average daily range. So average daily range is the journey that price can take from its open. So it can either move high to the upside by a certain amount of points or down to the downside by a certain amount of points. Ideally, a cyclical move to the upside or to the downside is consistent with the actual asset's average daily range. All right. Can you please have streams during this time before New York opens? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at doing, man. We're going to be doing this sort of thing. All right. Okay, then. So it looks like New York... Oh, is New York going to do anything for us? What is New York looking at doing? I don't understand why she's stalling. They could come back down to recover this wick, but this wick right here was just a quick snap. It's a snap back down in price, take the liquidity, move it back up. It's throwing so many traders off right now because there's scalpers, there's day traders, there's swing traders, position traders. They've all got orders in and around this zone, okay? Market maker spikes down, brings it all the way back up. That candle, okay, as it came down to the lows, is the sort of candle that I'd be considering making entries from, okay? Because if you break it down, look at what happened on the 5-minute time frame, all right? So, massive rejection off the 50 EMA. Price drops all the way back down. Now, if I bring it onto MT4, we see a different story. Look at this. So, it's a little bit clearer on MT4. All right. Now, naturally, we understand that when price pulls away from the 50 EMA, okay, aggressively, we can understand that at some point they're going to try and bring it back up because... they need to bring things back into the fray. Just look at this. Price spikes down low towards the range daily low. The range daily low tends to be a point where price tends to reverse from. And look what they did to them all, man. The moon boy got triggered. He was like, yeah, let's go short. And now he's scratching his head saying, man, I need some margin. I've hit liquidation. What am I going to do? This spike down, spike back up is clear manipulation. All right? Because there were loads of orders in and around this zone. Okay, so they fulfilled that obligation to the market. People wanted to go short. They fulfilled that short and they built their longs at the same time and they brought price straight back up. Let's dive deeper into the 1-minute time frame to see how we could have caught this move to the upside. Now, it's easy to talk in hindsight, but just apply the concept that we are discussing. Back again, price moves away from the 50 EMA. Your entry as such could have been waiting for this vector candle to finalize. This behavior right here was the clue. The fact that it didn't close stronger. So you now know that at some point they're going to want to bring price back to the 50 EMA because of how aggressively they moved away from it. The next candle stabilizes. So is that stopping volume? Final candle triggers towards the range daily low, moves back. So things are starting to change. And then this candle doesn't do anything. The blue vector candle steps in to initiate a reversal, stopping volume at the lows, pull up the RSI. Let me pull that up for you. Outside the volatility band, RSI slowly coming up back into the volatility band. The moment it crosses the market signal, which is the red line, you by principle are favoring higher prices. And then what happens? Price makes its way ever so slowly and hits back to the 50 EMA. You've burnt your money. It's really that simple. But applying it in the future is a different story. Okay. Now looking at New York, we can see an influx of vector candles in and around the 50 EMA. This is really important. All right. It's like they are selling off towards the highest point in this range from the Brinks box. All right. We've got what? Another 10 more minutes until the futures market is open. What will happen? Are they going to release liquidity, or are they just going to make a run for profit and break what we understand to be the daily open, which Bitcoin is kind of close to? All right. All right, then let me flip back up. And that's where we are right now. I'm going to change the look of these green boxes. They are quite distorted. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So, here we go. I'm swimming downstream, loading up on the anti-fiat currency. Okay, it's about 7.9p. Yeah, okay. If I was a hedge fund, I'd run an algo moving cash between... They probably do that. You know? They probably do that. Believe me, yeah, this Brinks box, I would not be surprised if the guys in the Europe are actually having a conversation with the market makers in the US. It's just consistent, isn't it? Look at it. It's not doing anything. We've just had a mad move to the downside and price comes straight back up and nothing's happened. Yeah? We're waiting for the next pool of liquidity, which is the futures market, which is pretty much all systems go. Let's see the market makers' intention for the rest of the day. If Asia have been bringing price back down and they initiated a stop hunt rise here and then they spike price all the way back down there, it tells me that Asia are favoring lower prices. The UK comes in and says, okay, no problem. We'll help you out, build some more positions to the upside. The UK does exactly the same thing. By the time the US session comes in, they spike price down lower, get some more orders fulfilled. Now it's up to New York's turn to either continue with that move or actually help Asia and the Europe make their money. Okay? But what I will say to you guys is be mindful. When London closes, we are going to see the true intention of New York. All right? We will see the true intention. Why? We'll have a look at this. The US session is famous for the reversals. Okay? Now you can see in this chart right here. All right? You've got Brinks box coming down. You see the Brinks box coming back up, spikes lower. You can see there's a wick there, and then it moves all the way to the upside. Just before the London session closes, bang, the reversal happens. Okay, let's go and have a look at another New York session. All right, forget this one because it was a rangy day. Here we go. Brinks session in the US session, they bring price back down, spike back up, come and hit the low for the New York session, reversal to the highs, and then again another reversal when London closes. Now, what's the importance of London closing? The market makers right now are not fighting against each other, but they are literally filling orders for all the traders across the world. We are right now at the most liquid time of the day, ladies and gentlemen, especially in Forex, okay? US is open, UK, Europe, everywhere across the board, Europe and US, markets are open. Some of the biggest exchanges in the world are open. Naturally, there's going to be a little bit of a battle, you know, between the buyers and the sellers, when really it's just the market maker trying his hardest to fulfill as many orders as he can. Okay. Yes, there is. You can actually download MT4 on the App Store and on Android, but you can't really do much with it. So, with that being said, when UK closes, we are then losing a pool of liquidity. When Europe closes, we are losing another pool of liquidity. So that means Germany, Spain, France, you know, we are losing liquidity because the markets are closed. Banks are closed, right? That just leaves the US to do whatever it wants to do, which is why in the US session, we may see a spike to the downside. That will probably range out for a few hours, and then we may get a reversal by the time the UK closes, okay? or simply we've got pools of liquidity that they could bring price back down to, and the 800 EMA is in sight, which is the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, which has this pool of liquidity right here. So once New York finalizes in 7 minutes, we've got the futures opening in 7 minutes. Whilst we're doing that, I'm going to have a look at what else is actually holding. Band has actually stepped up. What is Band doing? Let's have a look at Band. Interesting behavior with Band. Holding the 200 EMA. Price moves away from the EU brink, spikes lower, moves out. Now it's pulling back in the US brinks. Okay, that's interesting. Holding on the 200 and the 800 EMA. That is crazy behavior right there. Let's have a look at ADA and Bitcoin. What's going on here? Wow. ADA's moving up, back up nicely. Could see a little bit of a retrace. Stop hunt rise away from the 50 EMA. The 50 is crossing over the 200 on ADA, but that may be a trap to get traders committed to the upside on this pair. Looking at Cake. Cake is forming a beautiful W formation right there, and it sort of came out from that zone and it's come straight back down. Okay, so we just need to see what Cake plans on doing. I think the alts are all setting up. I think the alts are all setting up to the point where Ethereum may continue with her move to the upside, okay, and the alts will follow and Bitcoin will just pretty much range out. They're trying to establish the fractional disparity in that sense. Raven Coin has actually done well to but continue to trade higher. So it's above its daily open, so they do favor higher prices, but this could be just a setup for the shorts. They've come back and recovered the previous liquidity at this point right here. We are pretty much forming 1, 2, 3 hits to the high, and every high is actually hitting lower. So we might actually see Raven Coin bring price all the way back down to this point right here. We will see what they do moving forward. Man, I'm so hot. Could you explain the Brinks box quickly? The Brinks box itself is like the money, the money truck, and when I say the money truck, it's effectively the market preparing for the move that the market makers are going to make money on. That's it. It's like a metaphorical way to explain a setup. Okay, the best way for you to sit is Brinks box. Yeah, cool. Let's have a look at what else there is. How long we got? 4 more minutes until futures opens. Let's see which is actually doing well. Let's have a look at this. The SP 500 index. Oh, interesting. S&P 500. This is on the 1-hour time frame. Let me just break down the 15-minute time frame and see what we can get. So I don't like trading the indexes because you always get gap ups and gap downs. I don't see any vector candles. That might be just an inconsistency with the indicator on here. Looking at the pattern from S&P 500, you can see clearly a head and shoulders formation. They've come from a cyclical move from the downside, very sharp move to the downside, sharp move back up, and they've just literally had a straight move up. And now they form a head and shoulders, so it looks like it's breaking down. Near-term projection for the S&P may come down towards this zone right here, on the principle that they're going to come back and fully recover this gap right here. So this will be one pool of liquidity, bring price back up. Next pool will be down here. So I'm looking for this zone right here. Before it actually does that, we may see a retrace up, continuation to the downside. Let's see draw that out. See what we can get from it. So we've effectively got M formation right here, up there, price drops, retrace back up, continuation to the downside, hits the 800 EMA, maybe makes a retrace, comes back down one more time to tap it, forms a pattern. Happy days. Let's see what happens with that. Let's have a look at Algo because it seems to be doing okay. Algo's doing pretty well. It's come up, it's tested the 200. Now it hit the 800 and it's pulled straight back. Interesting. Very interesting behavior by Algo. Animal. Let's have a look at this animal then. Let's have a look at this animal. Here we go. Here we go. I'm guessing this is it. Very good price action. Really good. Looks like it's coming back. See, it's come back down to, well, it actually looks like it's formed a whole cycle to the downside. Really good, that is. Form a whole cycle, has come a W formation, move away, spike low, move away from the zone, coming back slowly to test the 50 EMA. By this principle, they should be bringing price back up to recover these next pools of liquidity. So we could actually see price coming back towards this zone of interest, which hits at the M3 projection zone. So they've shown support at the M1 pivot as such. Now we project the M3 zone as a point of interest for the market makers to bring price back to. Bitcoin, what's it doing? Still forming this nice little W formation at the lows. How long it lasts is a different story, ladies and gentlemen, but pay attention to the notable candlesticks appearing at the lows. Okay, always at the lows. It's where they get traders literally committed. 3 pushes to the lows. Again, 3 pushes, but these candlesticks aren't filling the whole wick. All right, so they are changing intention in and around this zone. This is what we're waiting for. Futures market just about to open, guys. 1 more minute into the futures. Let's see what happens next. Oh shoot, the wrong one. Here we go. Futures is open. Let me just quick. Oh, sorry, PC. Give me a second. Man, there's your boomer moment. No worries, Scotty, man. You take care of yourself, brother. Glad to have you here, my friend. Here we go. Futures market is now open. Very interesting movement. Here we go. Here we go. Is this going to be the point where they actually make the move? Is the Brinks box finalized? Because we have still got a few more minutes until the Brinks box finishes. Because usually the Brinks box takes anything between an hour and a half to really complete. All right. So let's see what their intention is. They initially started off with a stop hunt rise drop. Is this the stabilization of the coin? Sorry, of the move to come and bring price back up? See how they broke down price from the Asian session, okay? And then they spiked down lower and came straight back up. That was just a quick snap of liquidity for them. But the daily open is in sight, so there's a good chance that it could actually come back up and test that point, which is consistent with what it's done before in the past. If we zoom out, you'll see there was a point in the chart that they did do this. Oh, it's going to take me too long to get to. Forget it. I'll talk about it tonight. Right, let me bring this up here. Flip across. Happy days. Right, price is close towards the 50 EMA. This is going to be very interesting. Let's see what happens. Flipping back to Trading View. And if you are new to the channel, guys, welcome to Traders Reality. My name is Tino, and it's lovely to have you all here. Make sure to like and subscribe. It does help with the algorithm and spreads the word of the channel. So glad to have all of you here, man. I've got my pattern watchers in here, everyone that's been with us from day one. Mad love and respect to all of you guys, man. Just looking at this. New York is having a coffee. This is true. New York is having a coffee. New York is actually enjoying their coffee, getting everything set up. And we're just waiting to see at what point do they decide to make a move. Because the thing is, if they've made the move to the downside with this massive wick, all right, then there's a good chance that they could actually make a follow through, and the follow through will be a slow move to the upside. But it all depends on what happens in the next few moments. All right. Patternologists. I have an issue getting out of a trade too. Here we go. Samir, I have an issue of getting out of a trade too fast. I project correctly, goes my way, but I exit too early. How to make this better? I know it's better to get out fast, but I get out too fast. It's all down to how much money you are actually risking. Right? That's the key thing. Too much money at risk is going to cause you to act swiftly. All right? If you are trying to get out too quick, then you may be a scalper, which is fine. You get in, you get out. That's the name of the game. You know? There you go. Too fast is better than too late. I'll take that all day. You know? Don't worry about if you've missed out on an opportunity to maximize the most you can out of a move. Your trading approach has to be consistent with your personality as a person. If you want to make quick money, okay, naturally you would be a scalper because you'll be opening and closing trades continuously. All right. If you want to make big money, then you would be looking at swing trading or position building. So it's really down to your personality. Are you patient enough to wait for price to move to a certain direction in the future? You know, if you're position building, you're going to be sat in a loss before you sit into a win because you're expecting price to change direction at some point. You really got to establish your trading personality. Here we go. New York looks like it's starting to show its presence. We are below the 38,500 mark, which is a half number. So by that principle, what they've decided to do, let me bring up the 38,500 right there. Right, for the sake, there it is. They've opened up their shorts above the key 38,500, and then they've realized them, made a profit, and built longs below the 38,500. And now it looks like they're trying to make a breakaway back above it, so that they can make a move further up. I ideally want to see a vector candle coming in right here. If I flip onto MT4, am I going to see a vector candle somewhere? No vector candle just yet. 5-minute time frame, is it starting to develop into one? Not just yet. That should be a 1-minute time frame vector candle. There she is right there. The vectors are coming in. So they're slowly moving away from the point. Slowly but surely, it looks like they may actually make that move. Let me bring this back up. Here we go. Brinks might be taking on futures markets. The bell's gone. Let's see what happens next in the chart. If this W formation holds, well, that'll be interesting. But how long will it hold for is the key thing. That's what we're looking for. I'm reading your comments right here. Ethereum's moving still, yeah? Let's have a look at Ethereum. Let me bring that up. I need to mark that off. What is going on here? Get the perp up. There we are. So Ethereum's moving away from the vector zone. Notable volume right there. That is a big clue for me right there. It looks like they do want to move price higher. We've got these pools of liquidity up here, but it all depends on what the futures market holds. What is the general sentiment across the board? Are they scared or are they not? What's gold doing? Gold's pulling back, so that tells me that dollar's coming back up again and rejecting away from the 3 times ADR. Full cycle achieved to the downside. Happy days. So we should see price coming back up again. But for how long? That's the key thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's the key thing. Let me just bring this up here and just bring 2 charts right there. Put that there. And bring Bitcoin. Actually move that Bitcoin in that chart right there. Okay then. Cool. There you go. Strong vector candles down at the lows right there. I've got the wrong indicator on here. I need to load that up. Is it right? No, it isn't. Oh, well, never mind. Oh, there it is. Here we go. All right, then. My advice to you guys is there is no financial advice. All I can say to you is pay attention to what they're doing. What image are they trying to give the retail trader? Because remember, they can only buy if someone sells. And they can only sell if someone buys. What psychological factors are they going to trigger? Are they going to trigger the fear of missing out buying Bitcoin at or below the 38 zone? Okay. Or are they going to have the fear of missing out Bitcoin dropping back down towards the 28s, 29s? What are they trying to make retail traders do? This is the key fundamental question that you need to ask yourself every time you come to the chart. What is the market maker trying to make the retail trader do? That's what that's what needs to go in your mind. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to call it there. All right. Be sure to like and subscribe. We are back again tonight at 10 p.m. All right. Just to finalize what has happened throughout the day today. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Go and have yourselves a wonderful day. My name is Tino. Thank you so much for passing through the Traders Reality channel. I will be speaking to you guys tonight. Mad love. Peace, guys. Take care of yourselves.